Hello everybody and welcome to another Houdini tutorial. Today we'll be doing something a little bit more simple. It's called an abstract cloud effect. We're going back to clouds for a little while. Well, I'm planning something big in the process. So let's get started. What we'll need by default is our skylight. Houdini 18 loves me, as you can see. I say that the most sassiest way possible. And group off my lights in this little box so I can get rid of them if I need to. Just put that over there for now. And then geometry. We want rain. And we want cloud. I'm going to turn off rain right now. So we'll dive into the cloud and we'll get all our cloud prep ready like we know how to. So we have our cloud. We have our cloud noise. We have our object, merge, and we have our cloud light. And we're going to add our sunlight into there. And of course, we're going to add an output null to here. Perfect. We're going to save this before we go any further because this can be a little bit of an issue. So we'll save. Now we're going to talk about the fun stuff. MetaBalls. Now, I like to call these meatballs, but they're not. I'm going to turn off our grid. We're going to switch over here so it's not going to bug us too much. And we're going to look at our metaball. For now, we'll plug that into there so you can get a general idea of what we're doing. So, looking at a metaball, there's really not much to look at. It looks like a sphere with some fancy functions on it. And you can see if you switch through these, you get smaller or bigger metaballs. Now what this does is actually a more complicated physics equation. Metaballs are designed to mimic organic structures and organic movement inside of Houdini. So you can use these for a lot of things, but we're going to focus on using two metaballs in our scene today. So what we can do is, while you change these functions, the XY components or the Z components, on different models, you can see they will change differently. And if you adjust the weight, you'll see it get bigger or larger, but really, you're just changing the density of the metaball and not how much pull it has on its surrounding area. So it's pretty good, and we can just switch it up a little bit. Before anything happens, I'm going to change my timeline to 140. We'll add another metaball in the scene, and we'll put this guy here, so you can see the other one. I'm going to change a different model. Change this guy's shape a little bit. Make his pull big enough, but not too big. And we'll just move him over here for now. It really doesn't matter which shape they're in. And we'll animate this guy to hang out over here for a bit, go inside him, pull back, and go back in. So we'll put him back over here. We'll center him, and around frame 20, be all the way inside the other metaball. We'll slow down his path. Push him inside here. Make him kind of jump back out a bit. And we should have a fairly decent animation. It might go a little bit too fast. But it kind of works. So we'll merge these two together just to see what happens. And you'll both notice something cool. When this metaball comes over here, it gets absorbed by the other, and they do a twitchy kind of dance, and they get absorbed. It's kind of cool, and it works. So now we're going to convert these to polygons, just my preferred way of working. And you can see something interesting start to happen, where it's just very much condensed MetaBalls. They don't look that great. So you can go back here and you can re-edit them to how you'd like them to look. And what we're also going to do is we're going to remesh this. We'll remesh them into actual polygons. And we'll push that down there. And we'll add a mountain. You can see something cool start to happen. That looks cool, right? Now the noise is very centered, so we'll probably want to offset it just a little bit. So we'll go $F divided by this, and that should add some movement back into our cloud. And that works kind of well. So we'll pause that. We'll add a normal, just for the fun of it. We'll add another null. We'll say out emitter. And before we go any further and start turning these into volumes and having way too much fun, we'll add a file cache just so we can be safe with our work. So we'll save, and I'm saving in my backups folder for me right now, simply because I just had the opportunity to reinstall Houdini and I haven't had a chance to create a new geo folder. So I'm going to go cloud test2, accept, and I'll save to disk in background. So here's our clouds ready to go. So now let's go over here and we'll switch back to our light so you guys can see what's happening to it. I might add some more sampling divisions. You can still see some voxels there, so maybe 67 works. For density, we can turn this down. You can see them become very thin. You could possibly animate this over time if you felt like it. No, nothing's stopping you. So you can add some density here. You can smooth them out if you felt like it. I'm not going to do so. You can flatten them as well. I'm not sure if I want to do that. But yeah, you can just watch these clouds kind of merge already and become one big massive cloud. If we go over to cloud noise, you can see something even interesting start to happen. Suddenly they get very poofy and more noisy. And the amplitude, you can see some very cool things start to happen there. I think we're also going to animate the offset over here. So we have some rolling. Yeah, we have two clouds merging together, and that looks pretty cool. Let's pause this and check on our end result. So our end cloud's going to look something like that. We have the cloud light. You can see something else start to happen. So that's pretty good. I like that. I think we can work with that. The one thing that I will say is that we need to now animate rain to follow this cloud. My idea for this is that we'll have one big angry raining cloud, which will be our moving cloud over here. He'll be raining, he'll get over here, and he'll slowly stop raining. Now they do this with another happy cloud, and they'll be all happy. So that's what we're gonna do. The first thing we probably want to do, come over here and look at the animation of this one. Now we could create a point, move it over here, and then generate more points from that point. That might work. But, so I'm thinking we'll just copy this and go that route and see where it goes. So we'll copy this. We'll probably take off the animation here as we don't really need it. We'll file cache this out. I always lay down a file. File cache. I think I'm also going to convert this to points. And I'm also going to lay down a color attribute and have the rain be emitted by color. So we'll attribute noise. Animate it. I like remapping my noise. Works better for me. That way. And then we'll scatter them. You can see the points moving based on the color. Which should work great, but who knows. And we'll file cache this out. Awesome, here we go. So we'll play that back. We got it. We'll add a null down. And we'll go out emitter rain. And now we'll go over to our rain. We'll add an objects merge. And just close some things up as we don't need them anymore. We'll go to add emitter rain. And we'll add a pop net. And before we go any further with that, we're also going to add an attribute wrinkle, because this is basically what we're going to need. We're also going to add an attribute randomize and switch that over to p-scale. I'll make this like really small, and this really small. And we're going to make this good for the velocity. We're going to go v at v. We'll go 1. And we'll add another null. Now, we'll go back to our popnet, and we'll dive inside. Now, of course, we won't get anything right away because it's not grabbing the points, so we'll have to switch that over and play it back. And immediately, you'll see these points start to form. They won't really do anything. They'll just kind of be there. And one thing you might notice is that it's taking on the color attribute from our cloud, and we don't really want that. So we're going to go and attribute delete over here. I'm also going to add a time shift because I don't trust particles anymore. And for the attributes to delete, we'll add the color and all the ones that we don't really need, which is probably all of them at this point. Any vertex? Not really. We don't really need these either. So, all we really need for this one is probably gravity. And we'll pop out for a sec. And it moves. You can see our cloud moving around. So that's probably way too many. So we'll do 130. Probably want the lifespan to be maybe 2. Let's try 1. And you may notice this all falling in a relatively straight line. 2 things we can do to fix that is switch it from positive to negative and pop wind. And we'll do something like this. That might be a little bit too much swirl. So we're going to go down here. Which is pretty good. Now, the other thing we want to keep in mind is around frame 120, that's when our clouds finally merge together. We probably want the activation to stop a little bit before this. So we'll animate the activation. Which is pretty good. I like that. Now we can go out rain, go down here. Now if we turn both of these on, you will notice that we need to switch back over to our out cloud. And we can skim through the frames here. And we get a little bit of a lag. So, what can we do to fix that? Who knows? Let's go back out to our emitter. We'll go to the file cache so we can see it. We'll go to the rain, go back inside the rain, and go back to our PopNet. Let's turn on Use Object Transform. And see if that solves our issue. Now we can see it tossing up the rain on the front, but we want it to be more from the bottom. So what we might have to do is just ghost these for now. Preferably I would do this inside the geo, well, directly after creating the geo for this, but I'm kind of lazy. So we'll clip that. Probably lower it like that. Go back to our PopNet and play it back. It's getting better, but we can still probably speed that up. We can scale by the time by 2. And we can increase the sub-steps. works out good. I think that works. So before we do anything, we're also going to cache out our rain. And now what do? We have our lights, we have our action, we need our camera. So let's find a good angle for these clouds. This almost seems a bit too wide. I think I only want to see like maybe half this cloud. Racing in, huggy, huggy. And they hug each other. So, let's choose our materials to go on top of our clouds. I think we're going to use glass for the rain. And we'll use billowy smoke for the clouds. So, remember to turn on your velocity blur for both. Otherwise you won't get any motion blur. And add your materials accordingly. I'm going to move to a frame where I see everything in front of me. And I'm going to save, go to my render view, and click render. Oh no, why don't we only see this? Probably because we need to turn on our VDBs. That's why. So as you can see, we have some very poofy clouds. We can't really see our rain unless we go to the alpha. Hopefully. Maybe not, I guess. Ah, there we go. There's our rain. I don't see any motion blur, which concerns me a little bit, because I would like to see some. So we might have to go to our output, go to our rendering, and allow motion blur. And now we see our motion blur. I'm still not happy with the shape of these clouds. I believe that they could almost be a little bit more cartoony. So I think the one thing that I might do is make sure I turn off my renderer. Go to this cloud again. That might work better. Now let's look at our cloud noise. That looks way better. I like it. So, let's go back to our render view. And because we're rendering volumes, we're probably going to want to switch from ray tracing to micro polygon physically based rendering. And we'll just play that back. That looks pretty good to me. I think I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to not crash. Hold on. So I think this is it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. My name is Kate, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!